Good day, everyone. Welcome to Equipped for This, where we equip you with tools and tips. Today, we have a guest, Kenneth Watson. This brother here has overcome something that many feel is so impossible: alcoholism. Not only is he going to share with us how he overcame, but he's also going to talk to us about how others can overcome too. So, welcome him with me. Welcome, Kenneth.
Yeah, thank you, Marcel. I really do appreciate you allowing me to come on here and share a little bit about myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like we need to know about this topic here because there's a lot of people out there who are challenged with it. And before we get into it, how about you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Oh, well, I actually currently reside here in Jacksonville, Florida, my birthplace. Don't really know too
No.
much about it. I've lived here now a little over about a year and a half.
Okay.
I was raised in San Diego. I'm the youngest of five, two brothers and two sisters. Um, you know, regular upbringing, nothing out of the ordinary. I can say I had a good childhood. I was a three-sport athlete. Stayed in, on some type of field or court, something like that. I also went to St. Cloud State, not once but twice. I have a bachelor's degree in radio,
Oh.
and I also have a master's degree in strategic media communications.
So you
Um,
out here educated. Okay.
yes, yes. And I'm also a disabled veteran of the United
Mhm.
States Army. I served as a cook for 6 years, and now I'm just currently just working on a book, or my book is out now. 12 Faces is Sober. It's pretty much about me and my struggles with alcoholism and how I was able to maintain and get out of that situation to where I'm at today.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that you have a book, and we're going to talk about it in a little bit. But that brings me to my first, well, I guess my second question is, so how did you do it?
What you mean? How did I do it?
How did you become sober after how many years?
12 years.
After 12 years of alcohol abuse.
um, I guess that old saying, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Uh, I
You
bet
know,
you many of the listeners or viewers, if they're watching this on YouTube, they too could probably relate with that. But walk us through this. What you mean sick and tired of being sick and tired? Because 12 years, that's a long time to even to just stop a habit. And then if it's alcoholism, like they often say, that's a party, drug. You use that when you're having fun and everything. How did you overcome this?
um, I think when I got that dose of reality when I was in a homeless shelter in Phoenix from September of 20, I think it was 2016 to
Oh, wow.
maybe about mid October of the same year, 2016. Um, I got out of that homeless shelter and went back to Minnesota. And my mom was like, what can I do to help you? And she didn't want to bury any of her children. And when she
Mm.
said that, I knew that it was time for me to give it up.
Wow. Had you tried to stop using alcohol before your mom stepped in?
Oh yeah, definitely. I am no stranger to going to rehab facilities. I've been to four. Just the
Wait.
last,
So you've been to four rehab facilities.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
so I want to pause right there because some people might have the thought that, well, if they've gone and it didn't work, then they may not want to try again. And so you've gone to one, two, three, four. So are you saying it was the fourth one that you found that you were able to transition, or was it the fifth one?
No, not five. Don't add an extra
So
one on there.
I
But
hear that.
let's just say the first two times well, two out of the four was four. Well, actually, I take that back. Three out of the four was forced. The fourth one was voluntary, and like I said, I knew that I needed to make the change as well because I have health issues, and
Mm.
I that's how I found out that I needed to stop because I found out that I had diabetes, and so
Oh.
I took life a little bit more serious. I drank. I'm not gonna lie. Once I first found out about diabetes, I drank for a little bit over about another week and a half or 2 weeks before I went to treatment. But
Mm.
after that, I I didn't look back and everything. So I made sure that alcohol was no longer a part of my life, and I pretty much quit cold turkey. I just
What?
walked into the cold turkey. Like I literally, and it was when I say that the crazy part is that like I literally went out the night before. My nephew and I, excuse me, my nephew and I, we went out played poker, and I said, well, I got to go in tomorrow, so I might as well just do it one more time. And sure
Mm.
enough, that was my last drink. My last drink was November 14th of 2016.
2016. So it's been, how long has it been since you've been sober in your walk with sobriety?
4 years, 1 month, and 20 days.
Wow. No, we need to give it up for Kenny. If you listening, let's take a moment. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. That's amazing. Yo, that's amazing. Congratulations. Does it feel like a moment to celebrate, or how are you feeling? Does it feel normal? Does it feel like it's a struggle?
Um, I, I would say now, because my life has kind of slowed down a little bit in terms of like being like super active. When I first started getting sober, I was working on my master's degree. So I went from treatment straight into grad school. So it was like I didn't really have true time to like process what just happened. It was like I was in a whole nother avenue in terms of what I was doing. My mind was off of the divorce that was pending. So it
Mm.
it 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 definitely gave me an outlet or an escape from reality, and that's what I was looking for, was just the opportunity to do something different, because I just got out the military, and I should have been focusing on my health at that moment, but I wasn't able to do it.
Wow. So you were just getting out of the military. I heard in there you just said you were having a divorce or going through a divorce. You were in a master's program, and all of that helped you through your sobriety because it kept you busy.
Yeah, and then also what what really kind of started off my sobriety early is that I had did a study abroad in South Africa, and
Wow.
that experience within itself, it was like if you're able to come out here and be
Wow.
on a whole nother continent and not have a desire to drink, despite the fact that the college students were going to the bars and stuff like that. I knew that this was the right path that I was on, and
Wow.
I liked it. So I just it was kind of like it was a book basically, and it was each day that I was able to write that book of life, and it was like either have the life of alcoholism or have the life of something that you don't know nothing about, and it's all new experiences, but it's all positive, and it's keeping you not from drinking.
Wow. That's amazing. You're saying positive things were happening when you started to do your walk of sobriety.
Yeah.
So how's that still, is it still going for you? Are things still good, or do you find that there's days where you struggle a little more than others?
Um, yeah, days are definitely a whole lot better, because like I said, I mentioned a few minutes ago in regards to now I don't have that stress of grad school. So now
Mm.
all I do is pretty much just focus on my book. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Yes, I do have stressful days because I want to accomplish something that particular day or right at that moment, and a lot of these things that I've been learning is not on my time. It's more or less like when once it's ready to fall into place, it's going to fall into place. And that's what this is the journey that I've been on. It's like the pieces just continue to fall together, and I'm here and ready to embrace each and every one of
I'm so happy that's happening with you. For you to say the piece is, it's the pieces are falling together while there's peace. That's, I'm sure those who are listening or viewing can find some solace in that, because just my experience of knowing those who have challenge with sobriety, with alcohol, the idea of, well, life won't be fun if not drinking, it seems to often come to. And you're saying not only, well, you didn't say, is it fun? Is it fun? Is life?
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's almost like I had to retrain myself.
Mm,
Some of the things that I enjoyed doing while I was drinking, watching sports, barbecuing, um, you know, doing family functions. I had to, pretty much retrain myself in terms of like, okay, I know that I'm going to have, alcohol is going to be around me in some
mm-hmm,
shape or fashion,
mm-hmm,
but I just have to know that, all right, this is, I can't do this anymore. And it got me into a lot of trouble. I have a lot of scars, scrapes, and bruises from it, and I just no longer want those. So I just had to make that decision, and so far so good. Now 4 years, it's still working. So I just continue. I continue, and now I have a platform to where I'm able to speak and speak my truth, and spread the message to others that there is definitely life outside of alcohol, and if I can make it, barring all the stuff that happened in my life, then I know for sure they can make it out of alcoholism as well.
That's so encouraging, because I mean, it's encouraging for me. And I I don't I don't have a relationship, well, yeah, I don't have a relationship with alcohol. I don't drink, but for those that do, like I said, I have loved ones, friends, and even during this pandemic that we've just gone through, even those who may not have recognized their uptake in alcohol use might now be recognizing that they have a problem. Would you say that getting into sobriety or just regulating their use, would you say that you could do it by yourself? Because you mentioned that your mom helped you. If it weren't for that, could you have done it by yourself, or would you say that it's important for them to have some support of some sort?
Um, my journey was a combination of both. My mom, my sister, my nephew, they were all within driving distance. Excuse me.
Mm,
They were all right there. I mean, if I needed to jump in the car, they were an hour and a half away.
mm,
And then also, because I was in grad school, I had to, be up, in a different city, so I had to be alone. And so it was kind of a combination of, you know, I get the support, when I go down to visit my family. And when I'm up here, when I was up in St. Cloud, I would, I had to go to counseling. I was, I was a frequent person there because
mhm.
I was still, during this, during that time, I couldn't piece out everything. It was like, why did I have to go through, being in a homeless shelter for X amount of time?
Yeah, that's
The
tough.
why me, and it was, and I didn't understand it, and now I'm starting to understand it, and I'm glad that I am in this situation now because it's a good feeling. Like you just asked a question in terms of, is it fun? It's fun, yes, because I'm able to do different things that I wasn't able to do when I was drinking.
Oh,
I took up golfing. I'm sorry, let me take that back.
oh, so
I
you
have went
you
golfing.
get your
I've went
Tiger
golfing.
Woods on, huh?
I've went golfing a few times, yes,
Oh,
but see that being that like I said, I was a former athlete and I played baseball. The golf swing is almost like a baseball swing, but it's obviously you're swinging in a different direction. So, and that was something that I learned in treatment when I was in. I think that might have been treatment number 2 or 3. When
Mm.
I was this one was forced, and I had to go to treatment out in Alexandria, Virginia, at Fort Belvoir. Big shots out to Fort Belvoir. But yeah, I had went there, and one of the projects that we had to do was basically make a poster board as far as one side of it was, things that you normally do if you were drinking, and then on the other side was things that you want to do now that you won't be drinking. So I added some of the same things, sports stuff like that, but then I added on a few new things, fishing, golfing, and stuff like that, and going out, being more, outdoorsy, getting fresh air,
Yeah.
looking at the scenery. So yeah, I definitely incorporated a lot of different things.
Was on that list this book that you mentioned earlier? And by the way, that's an amazing exercise because being able to write down, we usually see the list with pros and cons, but with you being able to write down life while drinking and then what your interests are, if you weren't drinking, what would you be interested in? Because it allows you to plan forward to be able to do some of those things that you may have put aside because of the drinking. So was that book a part of the list? How'd you get into this book, yo?
Well, basically, when I was in treatment, um, I was trying to figure out exactly what I was going to do, where I was going to live, because like I said, I had literally left. I left Arizona, and I was staying with my mom, but I knew that okay, at this point, I think I was like 37, and I was just like, I'm not going back to live with my mom, and so I applied for grad school when I was in treatment. Got my apartment while I was in treatment,
Wow.
and more or less, like I just the in, excuse me, while I was in treatment, I didn't necessarily work the program because I was already tired. It was like I've already been in there 4 times, so it was more or less like, okay, I'm gonna talk, and as the more that I would talk in groups and participate, people were like, man, you might want to write a book about this.
Mm.
And once I started grad school, and the same thing, I was interacting with a lot of the young college students and was telling them my situation, and they were like, "You definitely got to put this on paper." So in between those two, treatment and the beginning of grad school, I had no choice but to get started,
You're
and it was
like, I
still
have to get going.
it was hard to manage, grad school and writing a book, getting healthy, getting sober. It was all a challenge, but I'm glad that I went through it because it was
Hmm.
definitely was motivating to keep going.
Hmm. So do you have someone like a sponsor or someone that you connect with, someone or an accountability coach so that you can keep going? Do you have that? Would you recommend that people reach out and find one if you do?
I sure do. I have a sponsor. Her name is Marie, um,
Shout out to Marie.
and she's in the book too. Uh,
Oh.
yeah, she's been my sponsor. I would say since 2008, when when I got in trouble that one time, uh, right before I joined the army, and my mom was just like, you got to go to AA, and she pretty much fell in love with me, like it just pretty much adopted me, from the
Mm.
moment I was there, and she always wanted me to come back, and ever since that moment, she would always check with my mom, see how I was doing over the years, and it was good to actually come back, like I said in 2016, and still go to AA, and she's still my sponsor to this day.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. And that long term relationship, I'm sure that might help
So
create
yeah,
comforting.
I would definitely say a sponsor is a good thing because they hold you accountable. They hold
Wow.
you accountable if you're starting to fall off track or you need that motivation, they're right there. And despite the fact that my my sponsor, she's in her 80s, she tells me you can call me whenever you want to. I won't do that, but if I need her during the daytime, I will. And I have.
Hmm. That's so amazing. That's amazing. I have your book right here. I was just looking down at it. 12 Faces of Sober, a veteran's battle with alcoholism. So you told us a little bit about how you got started. Can you tell us a little bit about what's in here?
Oh man. That- let's just say it's it I don't talk about all my relationships, like from my first girlfriend that I had on the playground.
Oh, so
But
you spilling in here. I did read some of it so that the viewers know, and y'all, it's juicy. If you're a reader, it's matter of fact, even if you're not a reader, this would be a good read to get going. Okay. Go ahead.
my disclaimer is it's raw and uncut because when I was going through it, it was raw and uncut. So
Mm.
I had to tell the story the same way. And the good thing about getting sober, especially the first couple of months, it my memory just started to come back, and more and more and more, I
Ooh.
was able to just be like, okay, oh, so this happened. Oh, okay, well, or I'm able to see the finished product and not just like, okay, when I blacked out or right before I blacked out or something like that. But
Mm.
yeah, I talk about the like I said, I was engaged twice. I go in depth in both of those relationships. Before I was married, I talk about a situation which was kind of like the peak of my alcoholism, dealing with an abortion, um,
Oh.
and how that excuse me, how that changed my life forever. To this day, it's still it's still there, but I learned to move on. I talk about my marriage. I talk about the the good, the bad. I touch on a little bit about the military as well. And
Mm-hmm.
then originally, the 12 Faces was going to be the 12 years of alcoholism versus my first 12 months. And
Mm.
I didn't think that it would be like 4 years. So I gave myself a little bit more time to add to it because one thing that I wasn't able to do when I was married was travel. So I've been on a very nice traveling tour these last 4 years. So it's pretty much that. And let me see what else. I talk about my family. I talk about
Wow.
how they supported me. I give encouraging words to my niece and nephews, just because I don't want them to make those same mistakes that I did when they were, when I was their age and stuff like that. That cliche. But I just wanted, let them know, like, all right, these are some of the reasons why I drank, and
Mm-hmm.
these are the reasons why I no longer drink.
So
So it,
reading this, the reader would basically see how alcohol allowed for self-destruction. Is that a good word to use? And then how you're basically saying it's not worth it.
it's not.
That's
Yeah,
kind of what I got out of it.
yeah. I mean, like I said, it like I said, depends. The put like this depends on the day when you read the book. It's gonna give you something a little bit different. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I want you to be in my shoes. It's more or less like I want you to be in that situation. Like for you to be like, all right, what how would I have been able, to manage or make, what would my decision be in that moment? That's the reason why I made this, put this book out, because I wanted to, people to be put in my situation to understand like alcoholism is something serious, and it could be something as a relationship, it could be something as a job, it could be anything that can trigger you that will increase your intake. And by the time you realize it, it's already it's a problem. And there's not there are some people that don't get the opportunity that I have, and I'm very thankful
Mm-hmm.
for that. And that's the thing, is that I want to be able to enrich and hope, give hope to people. Like, look, I didn't think I was going to make it when I was sitting at the homeless shelter, basically eating prison food because the jail was right across the street from the homeless shelter. So I want to be able to let people know, like, the certain mistakes that I made, you don't want to go through it. Some of the things that I've seen, you don't want to see it. So at least you be able to read it, and that's good enough for you. Because I don't want nobody to ever go through the stuff that I had to go through during my
Wow, that's
life.
powerful. That's powerful. Well, where can people get this?
Oh well, it's on Amazon. All you got to do is type in 12 Faces of Sober, and it should come up under Kenneth L. Watson Jr. You can also order from my website, 12facesofsober.com. That's the number 12, facesofsober.com. I do personalized messages in each book that I sign. So you're getting something different. And like I said, if I know you, then I'm more or less thanking you or bringing up a memory of something from our past or what you've done for me in terms of being an ear, listening, when I needed someone just to talk to, just to vent, stuff like that.
That's amazing, and I think mine is personalized. So you all, uh, if you know Kenny, then you can request that, and that is on. So the request is if you go through your website, right? 12facesofsober.com.
You can go through the website. I also have merchandise on there, little plug. But yeah, you can also
Look
you can
away.
you can order the book off of there. The price is $20,
Mhm.
and I take care of the shipping. I also, depending on how I'm feeling during that week or the month, I usually run sales. Veterans Day,
Mm.
I coined it Black Authors Friday instead of Black Friday. So yeah, I run sales. So you just gotta just follow me and see when's the next time I have a sale. If not, if you're willing to pay the full price, it's there too. And then on Amazon, it's 15.99. And then I don't know, like depending on your state, the calculation as far as shipping.
Okay, so we have 12facesofsober.com for your website and to get a personalized message written in your book. We have amazon.com, typing in 12 faces, and at least your book will pop up. And you mentioned follow you. So, what's your social media?
Oh, I'm on Facebook. Um, it's under Kenneth L. Watson Jr. I'll probably say that's probably the easiest way. You could also follow me. I have a 12 Faces of Sober page on Facebook, as well as you can follow me on Instagram. I would say it's KLW3434,
Okay,
and be able to pull up. I try to make videos every day, something encouraging,
nice.
just to keep the day going. I'm on right now. I'm on this military time, so I'm back up at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So
Mm,
I'm
mhm.
already got my brain churning. So yeah, so that's what I usually do is try to encourage those that might be having them long days of sitting at home all day.
Okay,
So
so we're gonna put all of your information in the description below on the YouTube description and on our Facebook page, equipped for this, so that people can see this. While we wrap up here, I want to thank you so much for sharing your story and for empowering through creating a book that's talking about your struggles, because there's so many people who feel alone, and even though they might hear other people, you're not alone, you're not alone, sometimes they're looking to find solace with someone who's experienced something similar, and them reading this book or even following you, that just might mean everything in the world. And I know this, you coming on here, I'm hoping it means everything in the world for them, because it means a lot to me, just helping people empowered through their challenges and equipping them with tools and tips, of how to get through these challenges that come throughout life.
Marcel, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you having me on here. I'll leave your followers with this. Um, you know, you're definitely not alone. If being that I'm a veteran, they have a crisis hotline. There's resources out there. A lot of times people are ashamed, but they have those free programs where if you really, really want the help, you can get it.
Mm,
So don't use the monetary, that as a issue or a factor, because AA is for free. And
mm.
with the pandemic now, you can just jump on a Zoom or something like that, and you can find a group. So, like I said, just know that there is a very vast, large community of people that are have sober living, and if you want to be a part of it, hey, come talk to me, and I'll let you know how good it really is.
I like that. I like that. I like that. So with that, thank you for joining and tuning in to Equip for This, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.